Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. With me today I have Environmental Group Manager Dustin Schull and Environmental Group Manager Josh Lookenbelt. We're here today to publicly announce the 2018 Pennsylvania Integrated Water Quality Monitoring and Assessment Report, as well as the Susquehanna and Juniata Rivers Aquatic Life Assessment Report. A requirement of the Federal Clean Water Act, the Integrated Water Quality Monitoring and Assessment Report is a biannual comprehensive analysis of the water quality status of the more than 85,000 miles of streams and rivers and more than 700,000 acres of lakes, bays, and wetlands in Pennsylvania. This analysis includes determining if a waterway is meeting its assessed use, which can be for drinking water supply, aquatic life, recreation, and fish consumption. When a waterway is not meeting the criteria of its assessed use, it is considered impaired. This can lead to measures being taken to restore the waterway, including identifying the source or sources of the impairment, and possibly taking steps to reduce the pollution that leads to the impairment. This is the first fully digital interactive integrated report, making it user-friendly and transparent, a vast improvement over the long PDF documents of past reports. I'd like to thank the DEP staff for their commitment and hard work to make this report more accessible to Pennsylvanians. This report also includes, for the first time, an assessment of the Susquehanna River as a whole, thanks to new scientific analysis techniques pioneered by DEP staff, especially the guys behind me here. DEP remains committed to continuing work on the Susquehanna River and has completed extensive work resulting in a new assessment methodology that will increase our ability to monitor our waterways and identify ways to improve water quality. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Dustin Schull and Josh Lookenbelt to tell you more about the specifics of the integrated report and the Susquehanna Juniata Rivers Aquatic Life Assessment Report. Dustin and Josh.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. My name is Dustin Schull from Pennsylvania DEP, Bureau of Clean Water. I just want to highlight the differences of this integrated report versus the ones you may have seen in the past. In the past, we've had PDF printouts and databases. PDFs, if you were to print out 6,000 pages long. This new integrated report for 2018 is going to give us the ability to put 10,000 pages together in something that the public is going to be able to see. What you see in front of you here is the main page, the first page. It's a fully interactive website interface that you can take maps, zoom in, interactive ability. The charts and graphs are responsive. You can print out information in data tables, or you can print the information out in the charts, so you can add them to your own reports, which makes this integrated report more usable than ever before. We're extremely proud of that. One of the aspects of the integrated report that we have to give to EPA is whatever information they request. For 2018, that was more information about the Susquehanna River and smallmouth bass. Specifically for this integrated report, we have made assessments on the Susquehanna River. The Susquehanna River is an extremely complex system. During our initial analysis, starting in 2012, we found out that this river is complex, and at Sunbury, where the West Branch and the main stem meet, they don't mix. The water quality zones don't mix. The biology within those zones are different. That creates an incredible challenge for us as biologists and water chemistry scientists to understand those complexities and develop tools to make accurate assessments for the integrated report. That complexity gets even greater down at Duncannon when the Juniata River comes in. 2 influences becoming 3. Down in Harrisburg, what we have is the 3 major influences not mixing, along with minor tributaries coming down the west and east sides, also not mixing. This just presents a very complex situation. Through the research that we've done since 2012 until now, we have been able to create assessment methods that deal with this complexity and make the assessments local. With that, I'm going to pass it off to Josh to give a little bit of history of our process and then detail the assessments that we've made for 2018. Thank you.
So a very quick history on the Susquehanna and Juniata Rivers assessment and the study itself. Prior to 2005, no substantial disease-related young of the year smallmouth bass mortality events were documented in the Susquehanna River. But beginning in 2005, dead and dying young of the year smallmouth bass were observed in large numbers, particularly in the middle Susquehanna River between Sunbury and York Haven. Between 2005 and 2012, smallmouth bass data suggested rates of reproduction, growth, and recruitment of younger fish in their older age classes were lower than years prior to 2005. In 2007, the Susquehanna River Technical Committee, composed of representatives from the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, DEP, the United States Geologic Survey, EPA, and the Susquehanna River Basin Commission, was formed and met for the first time. The committee's primary responsibility was to identify and interpret existing data, determine data gaps, and develop recommendations for future actions to restore and maintain the smallmouth bass fishery. Between 2012 and 2017, DEP increased water quality monitoring efforts on the Susquehanna River and eventually on large rivers statewide. The goals were to determine the cause of the smallmouth bass population decline and to assess the aquatic life use of the river. Between 2012 and 2017, Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission data indicates an increase in the smallmouth bass population. In 2015, with the vast amount of research conducted since 2005, there was a significant need to consolidate resources and data. DEP requested assistance from EPA to begin the stressor identification process, or the CADIS process. The resulting CADIS report represents a large amount of work from many dedicated professionals across multiple agencies and organizations. The report identifies the two most likely causes of the population decline of smallmouth bass as endocrine disrupting compounds and pathogens and parasites. In 2018, the largemouth bass virus study, largemouth bass virus is a pathogen. The study demonstrates that largemouth bass virus is a likely cause of young of the year mortality events at elevated in-stream water temperatures. And then in 2018 and 2019, DEP completes an aquatic life use assessment of the Susquehanna and Juniata rivers. Based on the increased and ongoing data collection, the refinement of existing, and the development of new assessment methods, the Susquehanna River from the confluence of the Juniata River to the Route 462 bridge near Columbia, and the Juniata River from the confluence of the Racetown branch to the mouth, does not meet the aquatic life use based on DEP's continuous physicochemical assessment method and DEP's semi-weightable large river macroinvertebrate assessment method. The continuous physicochemical method has identified high pH as the cause of impairment for both rivers. DEP is currently evaluating the source of impairment, and at this time the source of impairment will be listed as unknown. There is insufficient information upstream or downstream of these delineations to make assessment determinations using these methods currently. Both the continuous physicochemical assessment and semi-weightable large river macroinvertebrate methods became final methods in 2018. Little is accomplished through attempting to fix issues within large rivers themselves. Restoring water quality at the local watershed scale will most effectively restore the Susquehanna and Juniata rivers. This will take strong partnerships and dedication in the future. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Secretary.
Thank you again, Dustin and Josh, for all the work that has led to the development of the report and the assessment of the Susquehanna and Juniata. Clean water is vital to the health and safety of Pennsylvanians, our wildlife, and our land. As we continue to address these issues, it's clear that the Commonwealth's support is critical to funding restoration efforts. I'd like to talk about how Restore Pennsylvania can play a role in bringing the Susquehanna and Juniata rivers out of impaired status. Restore Pennsylvania is Governor Tom Wolf's aggressive plan to address the Commonwealth's vital infrastructure needs, including protecting waterways by funding restoration projects. Restore Pennsylvania would invest $4.5 billion over the next 4 years in significant high-impact projects throughout the Commonwealth. Projects to restore the watershed are vital to returning the Susquehanna and Juniata rivers to attainment. Pennsylvania's legacy infrastructure needs to be updated to handle changing weather and new development. Many needed projects involve stream bank restoration to restore flow and prevent future erosion. Other projects would be for floodplain restoration, which allows stormwater to spread out and slow down so it can be absorbed into the groundwater rather than flooding over stream banks. Restore Pennsylvania will provide funding for flood prevention that will protect against severe weather and save homes and businesses in flood-prone areas across the state. Restore Pennsylvania will provide funding to help towns and cities prepare for flooding and severe weather, upgrade flood walls and levees, and replace high-hazard dams, as well as conduct stream restoration and maintenance. Governor Wolf's Restore Pennsylvania initiative, which prioritizes environmental protection in its infrastructure revitalization plans, would help secure funding so that Pennsylvanians can protect and enjoy our natural resources. Thank you for your attention here today, and we'll now take some questions.